All right, 10. So let's try this again. So this is number 16 on page 40. So Maria rented the same car twice in 1 month, and she paid $180 the first time for 3 days, and she drove a total of 150 kilometers. And the next time she also paid $180 and had the vehicle for only 2 days and traveled 400 kilometers. And so the question says, what was the cost per day and what was the cost per kilometer? And often when you're reading the question, all right, the question itself gives you a hint as to what the variables are. So in this case, we know that we need to figure out the cost per day. So we're going to let X represent the cost per day. And let me get a better pen. So let X represent the cost per day, and then we're going to let Y represent the cost per kilometer. And these two dashed lines just mean that this word here is the same as this one here. Okay, so we know that the first time, right, she paid $180. So that was the cost of the car. And she drove for 3 days. And she drove 150 kilometers. So we're going to use that now to make an equation. So we know that X is the cost per day. So we know that if she drove for 3 days, right? So if we took our 3 days and multiplied it by the cost, and we're going to add to that the 150 kilometers, and we're going to multiply that by the cost per kilometer. And that should give us the $180 that it costs for the car. So we're assuming that there's a price for the car and there's a price per kilometer. So then if we look at the next one, it says that this time she traveled for 2 days. It cost $180 and she drove 400 kilometers. So we're going to do 2 days times the cost per day plus 400 times the cost per kilometer is equal to 180. And now we have two equations with two unknowns, and we can figure out the cost per day and the cost per kilometer. So I'll just go ahead and finish this up, but at this point you can finish it up yourselves. So we want to use elimination here, and we'll take this first equation and we'll multiply it by 2, and we'll take this second equation and we'll multiply it by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6x, 2 times 150 is 300y, and 2 times 180 is 360. And then we do the same thing here. So 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times 400 is 1200y, and 3 times 180 is 540. So now, because these are the same, I know that I need to subtract in order to eliminate. So I'm going to subtract the one from the other. So 6 minus 6 is nothing. 300y minus 1200y is negative 900y. And 360 minus 540 is negative 180. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 900. And so y is equal to 0.2, or y is 20 cents. So now I know that my cost per kilometer is 20 cents. So I can go ahead and substitute that 20 cents back into one of these equations. So I have 3x plus 150 times 20.2 is equal to 180. So 3x plus 30 is equal to 180. So now I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. So 3x is equal to 150. And now go ahead and divide both sides by 3. So x is equal to 50, or $50. So the x is the cost per day. So the cost per day is equal to $50. So therefore, the cost per day is 50, and the cost per kilometer is 20 cents. All right, so just to quickly recap, often when you read the question, it gives you a hint as to what your variables could be. So we know one of our variables is the cost per day, and the other variable is the cost per kilometer. And so in this case, if we multiply the cost per day times the number of days, and the cost per kilometer times the number of kilometers, and we add those up, then we're going to get how much she paid. So 3x plus 150y equals 180. And then on the next one, again, we know there's 2 days times the cost per day, and 400 kilometers times the cost per kilometer. If we add that up, we're also going to get 180. And then we have an elimination question exactly like the ones that we were working on today. So 9s, 10s. I hope that helps.